James is a red mixed traffic engine and Sodor's number 5 engine. James is a mixed traffic engine, which means he can pull both coaches and trucks. James is a very vain and boastful engine, and thinks he works harder than any other engine on the line. One evening, he returned to the sheds boasting, "You know, this railway would fall to pieces if I wasn't here. I work harder than any other engine here. I mean, none of you know the true meaning of hard work." "James, you wouldn't know what hard work was even if it was staring you straight in the face. You don't pull the express after all, and that is real hard work." "And when was the last time you pulled a goods train?" "Well, oh, never mind." James rolled back into the sheds, going to sleep. The next morning, James and Duck were in the sheds when Sir Topham Hatt walked up. "James, I need you to take a freight train. It's very important and—" "A freight train, sir? But freight trains are beneath me, and— Now what happened to 'I work harder than any other engine'? Surely, James, hard work means being able to do any job thrown at you." "Be quiet, Duck." "You'd best go, James. The train is waiting for you in the yards." James rolled away, not wanting to argue with Sir Topham Hatt. James arrived at the yard. He bumped the trucks roughly. "Come on, let's get a move on. I want to get this job finished." James left the yard with his goods train. However, he left in a foul mood. As he approached Gordon's Hill, he could feel the trucks holding back, and he started to slow down. "Not now! Don't you dare!" However, James came to a stop at the top of the hill. A few minutes later, Edward arrived to help push the train up the hill. "James, I'm here to help push you up the hill." "Oh, make it quick. I can't stand to be here any longer." Edward buffered up to the train and started to help push James up the hill. James continued on as he made it over the hill. He arrived at the yard with his train and left to get back to Knapford. Later, James was resting in the sidings when Sir Topham Hatt walked up to him. "Now, James, there is a passenger train that you need to take." "Finally, being able to take some nice, shiny coaches. It's the local. Henry's in the works, and he's not able to take it." "The local? But sir, isn't there a passenger train more refined?" "Really useful engines do not argue." James stayed quiet, not wanting to argue with Sir Topham Hatt any further. James coupled up with the coaches and set off with the train. Now, James didn't mind the local. He enjoyed getting to pull coaches. However, he hated having to stop at every station. He enjoyed pulling trains like the express, which ran fast through the stations. He arrived at Wellsworth. However, he could feel a slight pain. Driver, I don't know what it is, but I feel a slight tingling pain. Probably all the hard work you've been doing. It doesn't feel like hard work. We'll check you over at the next station, alright? For now, let's just continue. James left the station. However, the tingling pain persisted. He approached Gordon's Hill at full speed to make sure he wouldn't stick on the hill. However, then there was a loud whooshing noise. What on earth was that? James had come to a stop at the top of the hill. He was still in shock as to what had happened. James had reversed to the bottom of the hill. Edward had taken the train onwards, and Duck took James back to the repair yards at Knapford. At Knapford, Sir Topham had addressed James. Well, James, you were working hard. You were working so hard that you burst your safety valve. Don't worry, though. It will be repaired in no time and put back into service. Yes, sir. Sir Topham Hatt walked away. As he did, Duck spoke up to James. I hope you realize, James, that hard work isn't just pulling coaches. It involves pulling trucks as well, and even shunting. James said nothing. He knew Duck was right. He also knew he would never boast about being the hardest working engine ever again.